starts off with opening comments.
Morning, fellas. It's Egg Bowl week. That's should be enough motivation for our players and coaches to prepare accordingly. It's a game that means an extraordinary amount to this university and to our fan base and to theirs, and it's going to be a great challenge. We've had obviously a lot of adversity throughout the course of this year, and to prepare to try to get a 6th win and gain bowl eligibility against your rival in state is these games are always quite interesting, and regardless of records, are always highly competitive, and I know this one will be no different. So we've got a great challenge in trying to stop their offense. It's a good scheme, and their quarterback's playing at a really high level with skilled receivers. Defensively, they've given up yards and points, as have we, and we've got to be sure that we're scoring touchdowns in the red zone. When we get those opportunities, because it seems, as you watch them and you watch us, that it could easily be who scores the most touchdowns. So I hope that's not necessarily the case on our part, but when you look at it realistically and the things they do, they have a good scheme. Dan does a good job with that, and their quarterback is making them efficient in the run game. He's a talented runner, and he's throwing the ball well, particularly last week. So it's going to be a great atmosphere on Saturday afternoon here. Our fans will show up and help us defend the Egg Bowl.
All right, raise your hand if you have a question. Who has a question?
Obviously, this week, what's your message to the seniors and the kind of the younger guys to help get the seniors, having a high note for you?
Just yesterday, beginning to make sure the young guys that many of them were depending upon to help us this week understand the importance of this game and understand the importance of how we want our seniors to go out and gain bowl eligibility for those guys. We're a beat-up football team. John Youngblood spoke yesterday, did a marvelous job, but unfortunately he can't participate as Chad Kelly can and others. Evans hurt. Isaac Gross is hurt, and they'll be questionable for the game, along with the many others that we have. Lodge will be out, as will Devon Penniman. Those were 2 new ones, and then offensive line-wise, Sean and Robert will try their best to get ready to go. So it's they've got to understand the magnitude of this game, our young kids, for the value of those seniors, and our program getting the extra practices and getting to a bowl game. So it's vital that they understand that. We've got to find out who the Warriors are for this week, and that's who you've got to play and get ready to go.
Shea obviously kind of had a storybook debut, and then last week was not storybook. How has he handled kind of the highs and lows, and where do you think he's at 2 games into
I think he's probably about where you would expect a freshman that came out this late in the season. I mean, he had a great game at A&M by many people's standards, but we watch the film and you see there's still things he doesn't quite understand. And then the Vanderbilt game, there were some of that also, but he also had about 10 drops. And he missed a couple of passes too. He had Quincy on a touchdown, Evan on a touchdown, and he missed those. So it was a combination. But he definitely had quite a few drops that he did make those throws that we might be sitting here feeling differently. There would still be stuff on film though that he's got to get an understanding of. We've got to make sure. It's great that we have some extra time this week with classes not being in session, that he can get extra film, that we can make sure he feels great about the understanding of what we're going to try to do this Saturday. But there were a lot of good things he did, but still ways to go.